Okay, the watch list for Wednesday, January 18th. Quick look at the SPY. Just a complete sideways chop fest for the past week or so. Keep in mind, it's Monday was a holiday, so volume seems light and things are chopping around. Not a lot of conviction one way or the other, so we can just keep building our watch list. Today is January 17th. I had my first red day of the year. I couldn't really find anything. I gave a shot at a morning gap play this morning, and to be fair, it met all the parameters. So I don't look back and say, "Oh man, I'm such an idiot for trying it." I took the trade. It's set up just the way I teach. As far as I could tell, everything was lined up, and I took the trade, and it moved up a little bit and then failed. And the lesson there is that not everything works. Even when things are lined up, nothing has to work. That's why we always play defense first. I was down $319 on the day today. I can live with that for my only red day. It's not really fair to say my only red day of the year. I did have one other day this year that I lost $4 after working all day. But basically anything within a $100 win or a $100 loss on the day, I just consider a flat day. So anyway, we'll be back at it tomorrow and hopefully get some better setups. But today was just, one of those days. I learned early that, hey, nothing's really following through. There was some stuff moving, but I'm not going to chase anything. And by the time things were moving that weren't on my watch list, I put out a few bids for the first pullback, that sort of thing. Nothing filled. So just an uneventful day. After the first hour, I did nothing all day. So, all right, here we go for tomorrow. And let me just really quickly say, that I'm actually proud of a day like today, because back in the day when I was, when I didn't have a process and I was just kind of winging it, I would have panicked and said, "Oh, I've got to get that $300 and something back, right? Or $400, whatever I was down." Ended up down $319. I think at one point this morning I was down four something. So anyway, but I ended up my day down $319. But back in the day, I would have panicked and so like that's unacceptable. I've got to get at least back to even. And the more you trade, the more you realize that that's not important, right? I need one or two good trades all week. As long as I keep my losses small, I can still have a great week. So patience is important, but defense first is most important. Okay, protect against any big losses. Don't feel any panic if you're down a little bit in the morning, like you have to get it back. Because for me, the best opportunity to get a nice profitable trade is in that first 90 minutes. So once that's gone and I'm down a few $100, I don't think I have to get it back at all. I think, you know what, I'm going to have way better opportunities tomorrow morning than I am the rest of this afternoon chop fest. So the sooner you get that through your psyche, the better, and know when the best times to trade are. And then if you get through the morning and you're red, slightly green, big green, whatever, just accept that's how you're pretty much going to end your day. Okay, never feel like you got to get it all back in one trade or even one day. It's my best advice I can give in this short period of time. So all right, TBIO is the first one on my list for tomorrow. This has had some crazy action, right? Had the gap up, sold off, and then closed, took out its high of the day that day, and then closed pretty strong. Then gaps up huge the next day, sells off all day, and then opens about where it closed that day and sold off again. Much lower volume. Pretty good setup for a turn back up tomorrow. I'm not a huge fan of trading anything under a dollar, but this is a pretty good setup for a turn back up tomorrow. So it goes on watch. OREX. I don't love this one at all, but because of this volume and this huge move, you're still flagging, right? Not everything is a perfectly clean chart. So now you've got a couple red days back down into the 8-day. It found buyers back here in this area. So I do think this is a decent setup for a bounce tomorrow. IMUC had the huge pop. 4 days lower down to the 20-day. Almost no volume. Don't love it, but it might turn back up tomorrow. ONTX exactly like IMUC, kind of the same setup. ETRM is that crazy one, right? That went from $2 to 30. Now we're back down. It reminds you a little bit of dry ships, doesn't it? Now we're back down. We actually hit the 20-day today. But we're down, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 red days in a row. This was on bounce watch for today and never gave me any kind of a setup, right? So I always say it doesn't cost me anything to put it on a chart. If you look at this on a 5-minute basis, never even tempted me into a trade. Now, obviously, people might look and say, nice little bear flag right there. Why didn't you get short? I rarely short, right? If I don't get the long setup I'm looking for in one of these many symbols I'm looking at, I'm probably just not going to have a good day, but I don't, it's just not my thing. And I doubt there would have been shares available at TradeStation. I could be wrong. And that's another reason. Shorting's aggravating because some people can short with their broker and others can't, depending on the symbol. All right, so anyway, ETRM back to the daily. Fourth day down in a row, hitting the 20-day. This one might give a violent bounce back up. It's not like I'm bullish on the name, but I'm bullish on the chart pattern, right? Because it had such a huge move. Shorts have done pretty well now for 4 days, but any inkling of a narrow range break to the upside tomorrow, and you might get a nice little mini squeeze. So that's definitely a good one to have on watch. All right, moving along, BIOC, sort of similar, right? You had a big move and then a gap up, and now you're a few days, 4 days lower, whatever it is, goes on watch for a potential bounce. CUR, it's kind of a theme today. All the big movers, 4 days lower. I don't love this one because it's almost round tripped. It's almost round trip from the big move. So if it turns, I want it to turn back up tomorrow. XGTI. Zoom in a little bit here. This one, you know what? It's still holding recent support. Gapped up today and then closed near its lows. A little bit lower volume. I don't love this one. It kind of reminds me of that OREX. You know, you had a huge move and then you're kind of flagging, but I'm not in love with it. It just goes on the watch list. BNTC, anytime something trades this kind of relative volume out of the blue, and it did have news closing right at $3. It went all the way up to 440. Definitely has to go on watch for several days, so it will. PTX, nice volume today. Nice little, you know, you had the big pop back here, pulled in on, well, declining volume for about 4 days and did a really nice pop today before giving back some of its gains. Let's keep that one on our radar. PULM, big pop today. Maybe we get a follow through, red to green, something like that tomorrow. MNTX, nice breakout today. If I pan out, you can kind of see. Well, let me go to the weekly. These charts don't update as quick as the last version. So you kind of had, you know, a 3 or 4 week area here that we're breaking through. That all started today. So then here's the daily. And nice volume. So again, it's extended in the short term, but maybe you get a surprise red to green, something like that. Lastly, I'm going to watch MYOS. Had this huge move, what, 3-4 sessions ago, from a low of $1.30 to a high of $6.98. Then sellers came in, and now it's starting to find buyers. A couple green days, maybe back through 4 tomorrow. I mean, I don't have a trigger price, but this one's certainly worth watching tomorrow. Hopefully we'll find some good gappers in the pre-market to give us a nice morning gap and go setup as well. But that's plenty to watch tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you all tomorrow.